Thank you, everyone, and welcome to another session in our technology business management. It's been a great day so far, and we've learned a lot of things. My name is Kambiz Paksad. I lead the asset lifecycle management team in the Americas, and I want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. The sessions have been really great. We started today talking about technology business management and how we try to help our clients achieve optimization on their assets and applications. Some of our sessions have included what do we do with our assets? What do we need to do to make sure that our assets are available to us and our users are using it optimally? We talked about some of our applications, the performance of applications. How are they doing? What do we need to do? How do we measure the performance of application? In another session, we talked about the cost of applications. We need to know what the cost of these applications are and how we're running it. In this session, we're going to focus on the balance, the unified visibility of the balance between what is the cost of an application and how they should be performing for us. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Serbi to take us through this presentation. Thank you all very much. Please note that this is an interactive session. If you have questions, please put it in chat. We can always follow up at the office hours a little bit after this, but we look forward to your questions. Thank you all and enjoy.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Our presentation today is about Instana platform, and Instana platform today not only supports application as well as infrastructure metrics, but it also supports additional metrics like resource optimizations, cost, and business risks and insights. And we're going to show you how some of this, specifically cost, are coming together to solve the critical business problems that enterprises are facing today. I will just start with, kind of like going through what the research is telling and kind of laying the foundation today. And so as per IDC, we are seeing that the ubiquity and the scale of adoption that Kubernetes enjoy will continue to grow exponentially. So it's said that by end of this year, 30% of the enterprises would have adopted Kubernetes. And then there's a very interesting study by FinOps, which says that the workload optimization and waste reduction is one of the key pain points of enterprises today. So this is a 2025 report. Both of these insights are kind of pointing towards a very common theme, which is that Kubernetes is a complex architecture. And to scale your applications on Kubernetes, you need some form of an automation. Kubernetes are not designed for cost, visibility, and optimization. The major focus is on reliability, but it ends up to be a problem because how scalable the design of Kubernetes is, that cost, visibility, and optimization kind of becomes the key major pain points. And this is where, we want to say, right, like, does these questions resonate with you? Like, do you feel that, you're using Kubernetes in your environments and you've been asked by your management that why the costs are increasing so much? We want, as a user, you want to understand, okay, where exactly are my costs going in? Is there any room to optimize somewhere? Or you've been asked to generate reports on cost performance and all of those things. And this is not part of your core job, right? And your core job is around application performance, reliability, and we want to make sure that that stays as part of your core job. And we automate the cost angle of it, the visibility, the reporting of it as much as possible so that you can focus on the key business drivers for you. And we kind of like want to get into like a deeper problem, right? Why this is existing. So the FinOps personas and observability or the engineering personas, they kind of like separate. So from a FinOps personas perspective, you're given like business outcomes, you have to drive costs down. And then they are being these actions are forced down to engineering teams. But those engineering teams do not have any visibility of cost. They don't know where the costs are coming from. They don't get any context of, the application or the entity where this cost is coming from. And this is what we want to try and solve with this integration. We want to assure performance while optimizing cost by bringing in the cost data to the relevant personas in context of the applications they're managing so that they're able to drive the business outcomes that FinOps personas or an enterprise as a whole is looking for. So basically the business challenges are the ones, right? You want to get the release out, you have so much tool sprawl, and you want automation and you look onto investments like Kubernetes, but then with Kubernetes, we end up getting some different kind of challenges around cost visibility, optimization. You have to make sure that your resources are right sized initially to ensure that there is advantage that you can drive from auto scaling. So we bring it all together in one observability platform, which is Instana, where you can visualize, inform, optimize, and automate all through one single application. Now I wanted to just highlight in terms of what we are doing, and we'll walk you through a demo of it all. But so today, when you log into Instana, you can access the Kubecost, and which is the cost analytics that we have powered Instana with. And you can look at the total cost of your cluster. You can look at the idle cost of the cluster. You can actually drill down by cost per namespace. You can see how a release is impacting your cost timelines. So you get a comprehensive view of cost in context of your Kubernetes application cluster as well as namespace, while along the same lines, you can see the health of your application, you can see the infrastructure utilization. So you do not have to do a context switching between two different tools. You just start getting context of your application performance, your clusters, and your namespaces all in one single UI. And this is the time when we'll have a poll question. And moving on, this is how we are proposing the journey. So in terms of cost optimization, cost visibility, we'll just not limit it to just a substandard of namespaces. We'll have more options when we do the GA, where a customer can filter on different environments, deployment types. We'll also enable the users to have saving actions. They can have alerts set up where you can set a threshold that I need to be informed when my cost goes beyond a certain dollar number. And you can also have an export feature. All of this would come together. And I wanted to highlight a few other things about what the offering would look like. So today we have an Instana standard tier. We would offer the Kubecost analytics as part of the Instana standard tier for free. So these would be all the features that you can get as part of the free offering. However, if you have needs which are not met by the free license, we also have a support of the Kubecost enterprise license. So if you're okay with per cluster cost, if your data retention is okay for 15 days, and your clusters are small enough that it's less than 250 cores, then Kubecost free license with Instana standard tier should be more than sufficient for you. Versus if now you're an enterprise customer, you have more data requirements, you want more data retention, you want a comprehensive view of all of your Kubernetes spend in one place, there's a way around that too. We'll support the Kubecost enterprise license, and with that you can use all of these features. And I just wanted to highlight from a broader level, right? So we're not thinking about just one piece of it. We're thinking of from an organization perspective. So when an organization comes into picture, they want to make sure that they have it all together, right? Like they have resource optimizations. So basically you get a visibility, okay, this is how my application is doing. My application is healthy, or does it have any issues? And you want to understand, what is my application costing me, where there's opportunity to save the money. And all of this comes together with the Instana, Turbo, and Kubecost, wherein Kubecost brings in the visibility, the turbonomic analytics brings in the resource and cost optimization, and Instana in itself as a platform for observability brings in the performance analytics. And all of these things are now done in context of each other. So you make sure that if you're optimizing a resource, you're not compromising on the performance. If you are doing any tweaking around your cost and you're finding some idle resources, you're not compromising on the performance parameters that you have set for your application. So all of this brings those contexts together. And I would walk you through a quick demo over how that looks like in the tool itself today. So when you come onto the Instana platform today, you log into the Kubernetes view. And from a Kubernetes perspective, you get a view of all of the clusters that you have. You also get an understanding of the health of each of those clusters here. And you can log into a particular cluster. And now you can start seeing the cost data too. It's a little hidden away. We'll improvise the experience. But right now, when you come here, you can see the total cost, the idle cost. You can see the cost per each namespace. And you can also start, say you own a particular namespace, you can come here, you can look for that namespace, and you can start getting, all the information, just not limited to the infrastructure cost. You get the ancillary cost that is associated with your cluster. You get the efficiency of the cluster in one place, and you start seeing trends as well, which gives you an understanding, okay, is my cost increasing? It's been continuously, my efficiency has been low, and now there is room to improvise on my cluster usage. And so that's where, you can start seeing, based on those historical trends, what the forecasted cost of a cluster would look like. So that would be the data that's readily available to you. You can start understanding, what your cost spending is looking like, to start not only, forecasting for future, but also reducing wastage wherever possible. Then we also have, this is where optimizations come in. From a turbonomic analytics perspective, when a user logs into an application within Instana, we have this optimizations view here. And this is where, you can look into, if I go in and you select, say, last 12 hours, you'll start seeing, more analytics coming in. And this is where you have the optimizations tab. What the optimization tab is basically doing, it's providing you all the optimizations that are available for this application. These recommendations or actions are not just limited to performance. They could be efficiency, they could be compliance actions, savings actions, all in one UI. So depending on, what your business challenges are, depending on the day, you can come down here and you can start taking those actions. And the good thing about this is that it's just not limited to, your proactive optimizations. You come here and you realize, okay, there's a problem in my environment. You would see a highlight here, which would identify, okay, there's a potential problem in your environment, and it would take you to the events where you would have all the incidents and issues in context. You look into your particular application. For example, code of the day, web service has an issue, and you'll be able to see all of those incidents in context here. Let me see. And you would see all of those incidents associated with those applications here. And when you come down, you can see the actions recommended in context to you. So in this case, there was an action that was already executed, but this was a performance action which was causing performance issues, and it was recommended in context of the incident. The user took that action successfully, and it helped improve the performance requirements of your application. When a user comes in, they can also here in the optimization tab, take all of these actions proactively, saving you time as well as effort in managing the incident. So when you come here, for example, you have a performance action here where it's saying that you need to increase your memory because of CPU throttling. You get all of the information before even executing the action. So this is what an action would result in, the performance improvements in terms of the infrastructure utilization. And you can actually take that action here from the Instana UI itself. And once the action is executed, you get the information about the action execution here in the action history. And you'll get a report whether an action is successful, it's in progress, or it failed, all of that status. And the best thing about that is that if it's able to resolve your problem, it actually would show you here that an action was successfully executed and it brought back your performance to its normal levels. So that's where we all bring it together with Instana, Kubecost, and Turbonomic. You get application performance, cost visibility, and optimization in one single platform. And I'll open the room for any questions now.
Thank you, Subhi. Thank you so much for this. I'll tell you, it was very interesting. I was trying to follow the diagram that you were showing, and my first question to you would be, why does anybody need to do this now? We had a poll, and in a poll, someone answered that they are managing the cost Kubernetes right now. But what would you say to someone that wants to do this, but what would you say you have to do this now?
Yeah, so basically, I would say it's never too early to start saving money. And the sooner you start the right practices in terms of managing your Kubernetes environments, the better the returns get to be. So, yeah.
Sure, sure. Well, that's the best line. The sooner you do, the more money you save. So who's going to say no to that? That's great. And then when we say you need to do this, you go to organization, and typically, who are the clients of yours who would consider this, who would be focused on this?
So, with the offering and how it's designed, if you are a small to medium business, probably the free tier with the standard offering of it would work perfectly well for you. If you're an enterprise customer, you have more requirements. In that case, we can have the enterprise license supporting you. So any business, who has Kubernetes in their environments and they're trying to manage that environment, the sooner they start with the visibility into, how that environment is deployed, how much it's costing, and depending on where you are in your journey, both the offerings that we have in terms of the free as well as the enterprise tier, make sure that you're catered to.
Yeah, that's true. That is something that's important to all of our clients. Listen, folks, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it very much. If you have further questions, please join us in our office hours. That is the next session after this, starting shortly. And you can have one-on-one access to everyone and ask your questions. We have a partner there who would be talking to us about technology business management. And for this session, we ask you to please have a thought about how we did. If, as I always say, if you have something good to say, please enter it there. If you don't think that was good, don't worry about it. Just go to the next session. You don't need to input anything. I'm kidding. Just do whatever you like to do. We like to get better at what we do. So unless you tell us how we're doing, we wouldn't know that. Thank you again for your time. It's been a great day, and we'll talk with you guys shortly. Thank you all.
Thank you.